The government of Rwanda puts gender equality at the center of its social-economic development. In Rwanda, promoting gender equality is a strategy for inclusive and sustainable development, as well as transformative governance. The country has registered significant progress in promoting gender equality in the last 25 years. In spite of this progress, the private sector still lags behind, yet it is the engine for economic transformation as Rwanda aspires to become a high-income country by the year 2050. While the private sector employs 94% of the labor force in Rwanda, the number of women is still very low, especially in technical fields which earn more wages. Participation of women in some sectors of national development also remains minimal. In mining, women participation stands at 5.8%, transport at 3%, and at 14.6% in construction. Women and girls also make only 32% in decision-making in the private sector. In addition, women constitute only 33% as owners of small business enterprises, 29% of medium business enterprises, and 15% of large enterprises. Private sector companies experience capacity gaps in gender analysis, which limits them to mainstream gender in their plans and processes. In order to contribute to bridging the identified gaps, the Gender Monitoring Office, in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme UNDP, the Private Sector Federation, UN Women and other government stakeholders, introduced a project dubbed Promoting Gender Accountability in the Private Sector in Rwanda. The project, which was launched in 2017, uses the Gender Equality Seal Certification approach as a tool for enhancing the role of the private sector in creating equitable conditions for men and women in the workplace. During the launch, more than 35 private companies expressed their interest to join the Gender Equality Seal Certification initiative. The project document was then developed and is built on three main components, including enhancing capacities of private sector companies and participating public institutions to promote gender equality at the workplace, enhancing national capacities for gender analysis and mainstreaming in the private sector, and conducting research for generating data to advocate for promotion of gender accountability in the private sector. As of the end of the year 2019, the project registered key important achievements. 10 companies and 2 public institutions already developed action plans to address gender equality gaps identified by the Gender Equality Diagnosis exercise conducted in these companies. Gender equality committees were established in the participating companies and were equipped with skills in gender analysis and mainstreaming to help them follow up on the implementation of the gender equality action plans. The developed action plans are expected to address gender pay gaps, increase women in decision-making, enhance work-life balance, enhance women's and men's access to non-traditional jobs, eradicate sexual harassment, and promote the use of inclusive and non-sexist communication. Since companies started to implement the gender equality action plans, some progress has been registered.
Mbere yuko gender monitoring igera muri Sorwate, mbere y'ibihumbi 2017, abagore bakora muri Sorwate bari 20%. Bamaze kuganiriza ubuyobozi bwa Sorwate, uyu munsi muri 2019 ubu turi 30%. Murumva ko 10% rimaze kwiyongera mu myaka 2 gusa ari ryinshi. Ugereranije n'igihe Sorwate yatangiriye mu 1975. Ikindi kiza Sorwate yadukoreye nuko iyo ishyizeho itangazo ritanga akazi, ishishikariza abagore n'abakobwa kuza mu kazi, ariko mbere siko byari bimeze. Ikindi nuko muri uyu mwaka kubera korohereza abagore hari creche. Iyo gahunda ya creche yatumye abagore bazamura umusaruro wabo, ingo zabo zigira imibereho myiza cyangwa se zamuye ku yo zari zifite, ndetse na Sorwate ubwayo izamura umusaruro.
As a result of the Gender Equality Seal Certification Program, I&M Bank supported the promotion of women in decision-making positions.
The bank is doing a very good job in terms of having women considered in the decision-making process for the bank. I'm a result of that. I'm part of the executive committee. I have recently been promoted to my current role. I believe that what men can do, even women can do.
Since we joined the SEAL, we became more intentional about creating a balance between both genders, male and female. For example, we have a department, repairs and maintenance, which was heavily male dominated, and we only had one lady in that department. So we realized we need to correct this, and so we've taken a few measures where we had to get interns who are ladies into that department.
Over the past 4 years, Simero has taken a deliberate decision to appoint and train women in critical positions that used to be male-dominated. So there's also been initiative we've taken to address the gap. For example, we've been much more deliberating women, specifically to train them and train more of the excavator drivers within mining.
Companies, including I&M Bank and EcoBank, conducted awareness campaigns and have put in place anonymous reporting mechanisms for reporting sexual harassment cases. Companies may be willing to be gender sensitive, but many have had limited technical capacities on how to integrate gender aspects into their plans and processes. It is in that regard that over 500 members of the private sector and PSF committees at central and decentralized level were trained in gender analysis and mainstreaming. In addition, the trainings resulted in more companies including Mata Tea Company, Mukamira Dairy Limited, Nyabihu Potato Company, and Unilever Tea Rwanda expressing their interest in participating in the Gender Equality Seal Certification Initiative. The project also supported the development of a 5-year gender mainstreaming strategy to address the gender gaps in the private sector in the short and medium term. The strategy is anchored on the following strategic interventions: strengthen capacity building on practical business skills and innovation for men and women in all development sectors, mainstreaming gender into research and advocacy, strengthen access and effective participation of men and women in national, regional, and international markets for their products, promoting gender equality and inclusive labor relations in the workplace, enhance gender-responsive governance in the private sector, coordination and implementation. As a way of addressing the gender gaps in the private sector, where the number of female entrepreneurs is still low, the project organized a study tour to private companies for over 70 female students from Gashora Girls Academy, Fawe, and Maryhill Girls Schools, which enhanced their skills in entrepreneurship and job creation. Interaction workshops between students with CEOs and business owners were also organized to instill in young girls the spirit of entrepreneurship at a young age.
Because you are still younger, you guys, you are going to meet million challenges. But we are here to prepare you. Allow me. We are telling you this, we are sharing with you stories, so we prepare you. So you go up knowing where you are going. Kindly learn to save. I started by saving. If you can't manage, if you have no capital, you can sell your idea. But don't have one idea. I had 10. Remember I told you how many industries I have visited? Today I have the chalk factory.
I invite you to think about the future jobs. That's why I'm saying you saw the future. And this is right here in your country, very close to your homes. I invite you to think of some of the challenges. So think about the jobs and the opportunities if you go in that direction for studying for the future.
Bringing us here is very inspiring. It showed me personally that I am able to run such a huge company since other women before me did it. And it shows that if I set my mind to something, then I will. And it has taught me that if I am the first woman to do something, I should not feel like I've achieved unless and until I've brought other women into it.
First is to have self-confidence. Second, self-discovery. They have to discover their talents. They have to discover their passions. And the third is that they have to be confident, because you can never do anything without being confident in life.
The project also organized a televised live TV show to provide tips and encourage women and girls around the country to embrace entrepreneurship and job creation. 2 peer learning sessions were also organized to provide the opportunity for information sharing between companies and public institutions to share their experiences in implementing the Gender Equality Seal Certification Initiative and also share the benefits of promoting gender equality at the workplace. Through the peer learning workshops, companies such as Skol Brewery, ISCO, and Wolfram Mining committed to join the Gender Equality Seal Certification Initiative. The project also supported to engage women cross-border traders with the objective of identifying the challenges they face in their businesses. The identified challenges that need to be advocated for include lack of space for selling their products, women operating individually and in a scattered manner, which limits their capacity to grow their businesses, as well as small amount of capital to grow their business.
Mu by'ukuri akarere ka Rubavu kadukoresheje urugendo shuri tujya kureba uruganda i Masoro. Twagezeyo. Mu by'ukuri uruganda rurahari kandi rurakora. Ariko ubushobozi ni buke, batubwiye ko badashobora kuturanguza tutari butware kontineri yose. Nkatwe abagore dukora ubucuruzi buciriritse, ubushobozi twasanze ari buke, ariko dufite ubushobozi. Mu by'ukuri cyagwa twayireka tukajya kurangura aho i Masoro twabibonye ko twarabibonye birakorwa kandi byanakundwa pe dufite ubushobozi.
In spite of the mentioned achievements, the project experienced some challenges which include 1. Delays in conducting gender equality diagnosis due to competing priorities within companies and institutions. 2. Turnover of member of gender equality committees in private sector companies and public institutions, which reduced implementation momentum of the Gender Equality Seal Initiative. 3. There is still misconception that promoting gender equality is about empowering women at the expense of men or promoting an unequal playing field in favor of women. 4. Limited incentives to motivate companies implementing the Gender Equality Seal Certification Initiative. And 5. The role given to gender equality committees to oversee the implementation of the Gender Equality Seal Initiative is considered to be an additional task which is not part of the Key Performance Indicators (KPIs). This could limit their support to the implementation of GES initiative in their companies. Lessons learned. 1. In companies where the top leadership is supportive of the Gender Equality Seal Initiative, the Gender Equality Seal process is faster. 2. The Gender Equality Seal Initiative has been an effective tool for identifying gender gaps across companies and public institutions. 3. It has been found out that discussions on entrepreneurship and job creation not only benefit young females but also adults, men and women. 4. The introduction of the Gender Equality Seal triggered discussions on gender matters in Gender Equality Seal participating companies and institutions, something that did not exist before. 5. Wider communication through media and other channels is important for raising public awareness on the benefits of promoting gender equality in the private sector. Next steps. In the year 2020, the project will focus on 1. Increasing the number of companies and public institutions participating in the Gender Equality Seal Initiative. 2. Certifying some of the companies that are implementing gender equality action plans with gender equality seals. 3. Enhancing communication on Gender Equality Certification Initiative to influence decision-making and increase general awareness on benefits for promoting gender equality in the private sector. 4. Rolling out interactive sessions with CEOs on entrepreneurship and job creation in more schools and with larger audience. 5. Conduct an assessment on the benefits of promoting gender equality in the private sector and incentives for companies and institutions implementing the Gender Equality Seal Certification Initiative. It is obvious that with continued collaboration between governments, development partners, and other stakeholders, the gender equality gaps in the private sector can be addressed to allow men and women to equally contribute to the social economic development and benefit from the available opportunities.